Hey, this is Fred Ottman, Tugboat Typhoon, the Shockmaster, the B-A-double-D, Big Steel Man. And the card is subject to change. Watch it.
Welcome back to the show.
Welcome back to the show.
Well, sometimes love feels just right. It feels so real. It feels just like a power driver. Yeah, a power driver. That's what I'm talking about.
So me personally, I'm actually a lifer. I don't remember a time that I wasn't watching professional wrestling. Even my mom explains it to me as when I was a small child, you know, I would just stop in front of the TV and just sit and watch, and I'd just be quiet and just totally zoned in. So I always been a wrestling fan. And as I get older and even learn more about the business, it's like I continue to fall in love with it for different reasons.
It blows my mind. And I'm like tugging on my mom's pants and stuff. And I'm like, Mom. And she's like, yeah, what? And I go, I want to do that. And I'm like pointing at the TV. Well, she looks and she goes, oh, you want to be like Macho Man and wear this cool sunglasses and say, oh, yeah, and do the elbow drop? And I go, no, I want to be the guy throwing snakes at people.
Yeah.
And now, your hosts of the Card Subject to Change podcast, the For Frequency's Sake Tag Team Champions of the World, the Wizard CZ, and never wrong, Nick Bull. Hello, everyone, and welcome to another exciting edition of the Card Subject to Change podcast, the podcast by the fan for the fan. I am your host, never wrong, Nick Bull. I'd be remiss if I did not introduce my tag team partner, the co-title holder, the co-champion of the For Frequency's Sake Network, the Wizard CZ. Wiz, how are you doing?
I'm doing as good as I can be. Smiling, I'm happy to be here. And Nick, I don't know if you realize this.
You better be smiling and happy to be here, because by the time we release this, it's going to be our second birthday, for crying out loud.
It is. I don't know if you realize this, but today is the 2-year anniversary of when we recorded our first show. But the official birthday is tomorrow, when our first show officially launched onto all platforms. Right now, you can find all our archives over on our YouTube page at CSTC Podcast. And Nick, this is a show that has been over a year in the making. The scheduling deities have finally christened us with the ability to get this guest on that we've been wanting to have for a while here, just in time for our birthday.
Yeah,
I'm going to bring him in. He is a go ahead, Nick.
I was just going to say, like, to tell the audience out there, like, during year one, we wanted to get this guest on, and just it never worked out. And then it finally rose up to get him on. And like, let's get him on just in time for our second birthday. So this is kind of our unofficial birthday present to ourselves. I mean, we're adults, so you usually don't get a lot of presents when it comes time to Christmas and birthdays. So you just go buy yourself what you want, right? So we just booked ourselves something we wanted for our birthday here. That's pretty much what we did. I mean, that's kind of what we do every week, but we booked ourselves a birthday gift.
We did. And I'm excited. This gentleman is a former GHC junior heavyweight champion of Pro Wrestling Noah. I'm going to bring him into the studio here, everybody. Let's welcome the Endseeker, Dante Leon, into our midst. Dante, how are you?
Yo, what's up, guys? I'm doing all right. Had a long drive from Texas today, but we're here. Thanks for having me on, guys. Happy anniversary or early birthday.
Thank you. Hey, whatever you want to wish us well, we'll take it. We're glad that you're here. We're glad you're here, Dante. Even after the long drive, you got a few moments for us, and we really appreciate that. I'm going to go ahead and ask you, Dante, what I ask every other guest we have on here for the first time.
Spoiler alert.
Why pro wrestling? What got you hooked on this wonderful thing of pro wrestling?
Oh man. Straight up, it would have to be ladder matches.
Okay.
Just straight up ladder TLC matches. Like, my dad and brothers were into wrestling hardcore when I was a kid. So it was always WCW or Lucha Libre or ECW or something going on wrestling wise, but I was really never a fan until I saw the Hardy Boys in a ladder match, and I was like, that's cool. I am into that.
What were they doing that got you captivated? Like, can you remember a captivating moment that Matt and Jeff were doing in a ladder match, or something that happened during a ladder match?
Literally everything they did. They looked cool. They were doing cool things while looking cool, you know. Jeff Swantons at both Mania's ladder matches were probably like the highlights of my childhood wrestling memories.
Sure.
So yeah.
So was there a crystallizing moment for you that just said, I have to do this?
That moment came later in life. I was into the Hardy Boys and Rey Mysterio, and that was cool. Wrestling was cool, but you know, as you got older, you get into high school, and music and other things take priority. And I got dragged to WrestleMania 25 by my brother and my dad, and there was a match on that card which I didn't care about, didn't know what was happening. But when the Undertaker and Shawn Michaels wrestled, it was life changing. I was like, yo, you can make people feel this way by like super kicking and diving around and stuff, man. That would be the moment that I was like, all right, wrestling is what I want to do. And I was 14, and then I dug around, and probably 2-3 weeks later, I found a wrestling ring, and then gave it an attempt, at least.
For sure. And you're speaking my language with WrestleMania 25. You say dragged. Drag me to WrestleMania 25 any day of the week.
Yeah, I want that to happen.
Twist
to me.
my arm.
I've been drugged to independent shows. I've been drugged to independent shows, but I've never been drugged to a WrestleMania. That's what I want.
Oh man, I ended up hating that morning and ended up falling in love with it by the end of the night. So yeah, that was a cool day.
What a story that is. I mean, of all the things that really you get drugged to a WrestleMania, and then you possibly, you are just captivated by what many people consider the greatest match in WrestleMania history, HBK Taker at 25. I mean,
100%. Yeah.
What an experience. What an experience.
So let me ask you this. You're from Texas, a long way up here to the Midwest in the Quad Cities, and you're Black and Brave trained, which is right in our backyard. What brought you up to the Black and the Brave Wrestling Academy? I think we lost his audio. Dante, we can't hear you. If you can hear me, you may have muted yourself, or if you want to hop out of the studio real quick and hop back in, sometimes it glitches like that. But Nick and I will talk. Well, Nick's going to talk. He's got the pretty face and the pretty voice.
So jealous. I'm so jealous of him to be drugged to WrestleMania 25 to see Michaels and Taker live. And
yo, we good?
We are good, buddy.
We back, baby. We back.
CZ, ask your question. It was a good question.
Oh man, yeah.
What brought you up here to train with Merrick Brave and Seth Rollins?
Really, in high school, I was a big Ring of Honor Wrestling Society X fan, and Tyler Black and Jimmy Jacobs, they were my team, And so later in life, you found out that Tyler Black opened up a wrestling school. I'm gonna go to that. I don't want to learn, because even as a kid, you can see how different and cool shit. I mean, my bad. Cool things I could do, Yeah, and I wanted to do that. I actually signed up for the Dudley Boys Academy in Florida like a year or and a half prior, but I suffered like apparently I had a rib out of place, and so that took a little hiatus. And then by the time I was ready, I saw that Seth Rollins had a school, and I was like, all right, I guess I'm going to Iowa.
So how old are you, Dante, when you get to Davenport to start wrestling training at Black and Brave? Hello, Dante?
Oh, well, looks like it may have happened again.
It may have happened again. I definitely want to ask him how old he was when he got here and what the experience was like, going halfway across the country, coming to a wrestling school. I'm guessing he came at a relatively young age, because I still think he's relatively young compared to you and me, couple old wolves out here. But I'll ask Dante when he gets back in here.
Yeah, sorry guys, my phone hates it apparently.
No, that's okay. That's okay.
That's all
Dante,
right.
how old were you when you got to here in the Midwest to train at Black and Brave?
I came in January 2016. I was 21 when I got up here.
Okay. So as a young guy going halfway across the country, what are your thoughts leaving the familiarities of Texas and then coming to the Midwest to start your training?
I mean, it's always a hard leap to.
Man, I talked about the deity smiling upon us, and for some reason the audio just keeps going in and out. Dante, I'm sorry.
You jinxed us, CZ.
I've jinxed us. Rewind. Start the show over.
No,
hop back out and back in again. I'm sorry.
His audio's all. It's all right. This is how we do it live. We don't edit on here. This is how we do it. It's on the fly. We're in front of the crowd.
Raw, uncooked, uncensored.
We are uncooked and uncensored. But no, I mean, I couldn't imagine being 21 years old and traveling across the country to start something new, not knowing anybody. I mean, I'm just fascinated with that facet or that asset of people's lives that they're able to do that they're able to leave and pick up and go somewhere. As a 21-year-old to chase your dreams. So we all were young once. Don't get me wrong. It was quite some time for you and I, but Dante's still young. So I just wanted him to reflect on that time of coming here and starting training here in the Quad Cities. So I think we've got Dante back. Dante, are you there?
I think I fixed it. I think I did. What did I cut out? What was the last thing I said? Because I was rambling for a second.
I was asking you. I wanted to ask you, what was it like to leave the familiarities of Texas, to come halfway across the country into the Midwest and to train at Black and Brave? You're 21 years old. Take me back to that day, that time frame, and what you were thinking, what you were going through.
Really, at that time, I was just ready to get out of Texas, man. I knew that wasn't my scene, and so a change of scenery was really a positive. So I wasn't really too scared or hesitant. I was just ready to actually start the journey.
And started the journey you did here in the Quad Cities, and Davenport especially, with Black and Brave. We asked other graduates of the academy to talk about, walking in the doors that first day and what it was like. We'll ask you the same thing. What do you remember? What were your impressions of the place from walking in on that first day, Dante?
Man, I blocked out a lot of that experiences because of how hard it was.
Yep.
Like, honestly, but I remember it was snowing, and coming from Texas, I was like, what the hell is this? I was like,
had to be a huge culture shock there.
Oh yeah, 100%. And my thought was, I hope we don't have to run in this, and we did. So it was hard, man. I'm sure everyone you talk to will say it's probably one of the hardest things they've ever done. And they're telling the truth. It really is.
That's a common.
We've definitely heard that before.
Yes, we have. I mean, nothing like welcome to the Midwest, a bitch slap to the face of a snowstorm, right?
Yeah, wouldn't recommend it.
We're speaking here with Dante Leon on the Card Subject Change podcast, the podcast by the fan, for the fan, powered by Low Price Pizza, built by Durham Remodeling, colored by Ryan Allison Tattoo, and protected by Jared Zook of Country Financial. You say you block out a lot of that time because how hard it was. Do you remember what it felt like when you finished, and maybe the uncertainty of what was next in your pro wrestling journey? Take us back to that. Like, you know, you graduate from the academy. What was next for Dante?
Good question, man. Happy that I could have accomplished something and move away, you know, across country and actually finished it, did my goal.
Sure.
But that was step one of many steps. So I just wanted to just get reps, and I wanted to get in front of a crowd with the knowledge that I learned and really just test it out and learn. And a lot of the times it's a hump to get over because you graduated and you're used to working the same guys that you know months after months after months. And when you go out there and you're trying to actually learn and get better, you are going to be in some circumstances that are going to test you. And that would probably be the most nerve-wracking thing, but it's also the most productive thing career-wise. And
Dante, is it hard? Is it scary? I mean, take us through this, because I've never taken a bump in a ring, and CZ hasn't taken a bump in a ring. We're just big fans. Is the hardest thing to do after you graduate from school, is it to go out and get the bookings and be seen? Is that the hump you're talking about getting over?
Yeah. And like, just because you graduate, you don't know everything. You've
Right.
got the bare minimum. And so you don't want to stay at that. You want to go and learn, and you want to progress, and you want to get to a level that you envision yourself at. And that would probably be the hardest thing, is because you're not going to be Shawn Michaels out the gate. You're not going to be TV ready. You're going to fail a lot. And so that probably the most nerve-wracking thing, the falling and the bumping and everything. You learn that. You're fine. It's the failing in front of a crowd and fighting to get better for the next time is really a mental toll that it takes a toll on a lot of people, I feel like.
Absolutely. So on that front, one thing that I like to say every once in a while is that iron sharpens iron. When you're in the ring,
Definitely.
Who are some of the people that have helped you improve and helped you become the wrestler you are today?
Getting like the first years probably be another Black and Brave graduate from my class. It would be a front man, Jossie. When you get started, it's really beneficial to have someone that you can try new things with, that you can push yourself, and they can push themselves with you. And as you say, iron sharpens iron. So the first few years, it's really helpful to have a brother there that you can just get better with, and that's an awesome feeling. But as time progresses, I would have to say probably my homie Ninja Mac, I would say, because we're probably two people that do things other people can't. And it's when you get someone that's talented in that regard, it's you get to try new things, you get to experiment, you get to test yourself, and honestly, like, just become better with someone that you feel is on your skill level.
Without a doubt.
Dante, I want to ask you, tell us about the Endseeker. How did that name come to be? How did you develop that? Who gave that to you? Or how did you come up with that? And you know, now it's your calling card. You're the Endseeker.
Yeah.
Dante Leon. Let's talk about the birth of the Endseeker.
Yeah, you have to have a moniker in wrestling. You got to have something cool, and
For sure.
Like, yeah, and I see all these other monikers, and growing up, I would hear like Jeff Hardy is the charismatic enigma, and Undertaker is the phenom. I didn't know what those words meant. I didn't know, but they sounded cool. Like you think of that, you think of them. If I was like, the Texas Devil or something, I'm sure hundreds of people in the past and in the future probably have like a similar nickname. So my whole goal was to think of something that when you say it's like, oh, you don't confuse it with someone else. It's, oh no, that's Dante. And honestly, I got it from a metal band's song title, and I was like, yo, that's sick. I'm gonna call myself that.
That's cool. That's cool.
Yeah. And
that's all right.
obviously you want to make yourself stand out in this business so that eyes are getting on you here. And that's the name does so much for that. Talk about what else in your opinion makes you stand out as a wrestler?
Yeah. I mean, a lot of people have colorful hair and have a, emo gimmick, but I would say for me personally, I mean, it would have to be the movements I do in the ring, or the certain flips, or just the weird things that I envision doing that apparently, other people haven't before. I would say kind of sets me apart. And I mean, whether it's promos or moves or look, I feel like everyone should have something that separates them from everyone else. And mine just happens to be, I feel like, my weird athleticism on cool flipping moves, I guess, man. I don't know.
And I think I can speak for Nick on this one. If you haven't seen Dante in a match, go out of your way to find it, because he does bring something unique to the table every time he steps in the ring. Not to speak about you in third person. You're in the room. That seems kind of weird, but
thanks, man.
But yeah, you definitely bring something unique to the ring. Well, I think Nick lost.
Well,
everybody's
I'm just
dropping
happy
out.
you stopped me this time. Yeah.
You want me to drop out? You can talk for the next 45 minutes or so.
Yeah. I mean,
no, I'm teasing.
Go downhill fast.
That's okay. He'll be back. I'm sure he's just got to put a couple quarters in the internet machine, and then speak of the devil. Say his name and he appears. He's not Joe Hendry. He is never wrong, Nick Bull.
I believe in never wrong. I wanted to say, I think what's great about, you get to see Dante Leon and SCW Pro. What I really appreciate about Dante Leon is I can come home and I can flip on, Triller and see you on an indie show in GCW or see you elsewhere. Talk about some of the other places you've worked and some of the people that you've met that maybe have stuck with you and have helped you get to where you are.
Oh, for sure.
Because I know I pop when I see Dante Leon on a GCW show. I'll tell you that much.
Oh yeah, man. Those are fun. I mean, firstly, you have to start off with, Ninja Mac on the journey. We both popped off together, and one of our matches in Loco in Houston, they got the eyes of GCW on them, which helped us get to there in the first place.
Yep.
You just meet people that are just cool, and you learn from them, and they help you. Try to help with whatever you can. I mean, man, Joey Janela, he's probably one of the biggest unsung heroes of my career, just from seeing clips and wanting us in GCW and even vouching for us. So, definitely him. Man, everyone I met in Noah is honestly probably the coolest people in wrestling, and are there to help and progress. And just, those are the ones that come to mind, but I'm sure there's hundreds others.
Sure. I'm glad you brought up Noah because you're a former GHC junior heavyweight champion over in Noah. Not a lot of people that we talk to have gotten to work in Japan. Just talk about working. From Texas,
Absolutely.
you come to the Midwest, you come halfway across.
I was going to wait to, yeah.
You're on the other side of the world in Japan. Just talk about that whole experience. I mean, I don't know a lot of people that have worked in Japan. And I just love to hear the stories.
Man, it's definitely a different world over there. Wrestling wise too, it's looked at more high regard. It's something to be proud about. It really, I don't even know how to put into words. It's just two completely different cultures. It's awesome. The food's great. The people are great. The wrestling is great. The crowds are great. It's like, everything's great. I don't even know like one negative that I can say. Maybe not enough like taco stands, but besides that, man, it really is like a mecca for wrestling, and it's fantastic.
So talk about how you got there. What was the road to Japan and pro wrestling, Noah?
Well, man, I believe they reached out to Ninja Mac first because that gimmick is awesome. He could do awesome things, and some of his matches were against me, and they were like, "Ooh, who is this? Who is this little weirdo that can do some cool things too?" And they had like a open call. They were like, "We want the best international wrestlers." And I was like, "You know what? I'll email them. I'll throw my hat in the race." And I don't know, maybe a month or two goes by. I get a message like, "Hey, have they reached out to you? Because they've been like mentioning something." I was like, "Nope." And then I think like another week or two goes by, and then I get a message from someone on Instagram. It was like, "Hi, would you like to come to Noah?" And I was like, "What?" And then I reached out to them. I was like, "Yeah, I would like to, please, thank you." And like, "We actually emailed you," and I didn't even read the rest of the message. They said they emailed me. I went to my emails, and apparently in my spam folder for the last month and a half or two was a, "Hey, would you like to come to Noah?" email. And after that, I tell every single wrestler, like, check your spam folders every single day, in the morning, in the night, because you will never know what's in there unless you check. So, I got that email. Said, "Yeah, I'm definitely interested." And I believe the next month flew out there for the first tour.
What was that first welcome to Japan moment you had when you got over there? Like, was it in the ring? Was it just experiencing the culture outside of the ring? What was that welcome to Japan moment you had?
It was probably, I think I arrived late that night. I got there tired, 15-hour flights, went to bed. I think I had another day before the show. And I just woke up in the morning and started walking just aimlessly and just sat on a bench in a park and then just soaked it in. I was like, wow, I am here. I am in Japan. Everything is beautiful and different, and it is time to go to work.
Absolutely. What I want to know is so you are the first person we've had on who has been to Japan, and I think that's awesome. I want to know what the atmosphere is like between being in a ring here in the United States and being in the ring in Japan. What the crowd feels like and just what the whole environment entails, the difference between the two.
In Japan, it is very more, they are focused. They are watching intently. They understand what wrestling is, but they also just respect it to a whole different degree, that it is, you feel everything that you do is appreciated, that it matters, and that you want to give them their all. There, in America, it's fun and games sometimes. You have hecklers, you have people that want to be a part of the show, but over there, they don't. It doesn't seem like they really do. They want you. They're focused on you, and I think that may be the biggest difference,
For sure.
in my opinion, at least. Yeah.
Well, we are about 30 minutes in here, technical difficulties aside. It seems like everything is working perfectly now. We're going like clockwork, and I hope I didn't just jinx it. But we're going to take a quick short break. We're going to pay dues to our sponsors and our other shows on the network, and talk a little bit about Toys for Tots, the fantasy football league that's coming up by FFSQC. We'll stay tuned. We'll be back on the other side of the break.
Football season may be over, but for frequency's sake still has you covered for all your sporting needs. Tune in every Sunday when the best professional wrestling podcast around, Cards Subject to Change, gets you caught up on everything inside the ropes. They won't miss a count with weekly analysis and interviews. More into auto racing? We've got a double dose for you on the track. Tune in to Fast Money with Rod Villagomez each week and win some money with the quickest bets in all of sports. Want more insight from Pit Row? Check out the Green, White, and Checkered podcast, where they give their insight on everything happening on and off the track. Need your basketball fix? Points in the Paint has you covered, with live shows every other week looking at everything in the association. Backed by popular demand, we have the return of The Payoff Pitch, FFSQC's baseball show, covering you on news around the MLB. If you're missing football, don't fret. Mark and Dan still have you covered in the football lounge. Missing Joe Winkle? Probably not, but he's still here talking sports on Educated Ignorance. Football season might be over, but we've still got you covered. For frequency's sake, you know what we mean.
For frequency's sake is brought to you by Durham Remodeling, serving the Quad City area's remodeling and repair needs since 1973. Clint's Draft House, grab a bite and a pint. 7th Street Moline. Low Pies, New York-style pizza served up by the slice or pie, Davenport. Lifted Energy, energy drinks, coffee, donuts, and more. #GetLifted. Atomic Sports Cards and Collectibles. Sports cards and memorabilia, vintage clothing, hats, pennants, and more. Ryan Allison Tattoo. Step into the vibrant world of tattoos with Ryan Allison. And A Cut Above, offering quality custom woodwork designed specifically around our customers.
Hey everyone, we are checking out at Walmart. We've got ourselves 4 full carts. We got plenty of toys here. We're going to see what our final number is here in a couple of minutes. Well, we've got a couple of nice folks here checking us out, but hopefully we'll got plenty of stuff for everybody to get everybody a nice happy Christmas this year.
Football season is just around the corner, and once again, For Fantasy's Sake is running its annual Toys for Tots Fantasy Football Leagues. Don't miss your chance to be crowned the best fantasy football player in the Quad Cities and help raise money for Toys for Tots of the Quad Cities. The For Fantasy's Sake Toys for Tots Bowl is loaded with great prizes and even better local celebrity participants, ranging from professional athletes and news personalities, and even former Iowa Hawkeye fullback, SCW Pro and Pro Wrestling Trailblazer, Steve Manders. To sign up, just visit For Frequency's Sake on Facebook or Twitter and follow the links.
Welcome back to the show.
Welcome back to the show.
This is our unofficial second birthday party here on the Card Subject to Change podcast, the podcast by the fan for the fan. We're powered by Low Pies Pizza, built by Durham Remodeling, colored by Ryan Allison Tattoo, protected by Jared Zucker Country Financial. And we are joined by the Endseeker, Dante Leon. And Dante, I still want to...
Yo.
Hey, we're glad you're here. So glad you're with us. And we're so glad everyone out there is listening to this podcast here on the Card Subject to Change podcast. Dante, how long were you in Japan before you won the GHC junior heavyweight title? And you know, before winning that, you know, when they tell you you're going to be put in that position, what was that like?
That happened on my second tour. My first tour was about a month. My second tour was 3 months. I believe I was 2 weeks into that. We had the match for the title set up at Hurricane Hall. We had a media press junket, talked about everything, and I expressed how much that title actually meant to me, because growing up, that after I learned and fell in love with wrestling, the Noah Juniors, Kenta, Marufuji were my go-to wrestling. It was those were literally on my Mount Rushmore, and so that title meant a lot, and I expressed that. And day comes, you're in the stairwell. Booker Man looks at you and puts his thumbs up. It's like, you're a little confused. You have to get some clarification. Like, yeah, hey, I think I know what you meant. But are you sure? And when they say yes, you up. It's like, thank you. I don't know. Like, besides that, even just the match that we had in that building, one of my favorites. I went out there with my brother, and we did what we could in one of the most famous wrestling venues in the world for one of the most prestigious titles in Japan. And it's, regardless of winning or anything, just the match and the experience is a memory I truly cherish.
You go from getting drug to WrestleMania 25 to winning a major title at Hurricane Hall. I mean,
yeah, 14-year-old me. Yeah, my teenage self would be proud.
What a story. What an experience. You mentioned Kenta and Marufuji. I'll go ahead and unofficially ask you, who is on your Mount Rushmore of wrestling, Dante?
I mean, when you're a kid, it's one thing, and when you learn about the that for sure. Marufuji, Kenta, AJ Styles, and Bryan Danielson. Of course, that's the easy one, but those four definitely influenced me and are really the only four guys that I really like watch. So definitely those.
I got to put you on the spot then. Did you watch the most recent Styles and Marufuji match?
No, man. I've been looking for it. I lost my login for Wrestle Universe. I'm just waiting for that YouTube video to come out and that high quality.
It's out there on Twitter if you want to see it. And I saw it on a Facebook stream.
Okay.
You hold Marufuji, you hold Styles in such high regard. You're going to absolutely love the match.
God, yeah. I've been kicking myself for not watching that yet, but I'm just waiting to see it on a big screen instead of just but soon, yeah.
You bring up AJ Styles. I think he is one of the most underappreciated wrestlers wrestling today. And when you look at him all time, I don't think he gets enough credit. I think he is great. But I think he kind of just gets filed behind other wrestlers in people's minds. Like, I don't think people hold him in the high regard they should. I mean, the guy's a freaking legend, in my opinion.
I've never heard anyone talk shit about AJ Styles. So I
don't know if they talk shit. I just don't think they maybe respect him enough. I mean, the guy has done everything twice over.
Okay. Yeah, no, definitely. If they don't think he's one of the greatest, then I don't know, man. We're watching two different wrestlings, I guess.
Yeah, I agree, man. I think he is special. Absolutely think he's special. I've been watching a lot of his old TNA stuff, and
yes,
yeah,
unbelievable,
right? Yeah, he was the athletic freak.
Oh, for sure, man, for sure. And even his matches he had with Cody this year, even, he's much older now and he's experienced.
Oh, no.
He tells a story in a different way, and it's still, no pun intended, phenomenal. It's still impactful. Still can go out there and do it. I have mad respect for him. Unbelievable respect.
100%. Yeah, that's what.
Go ahead, Dante.
Oh, no, I was just going to say that's the person who I truly would like to model my career, like longevity wise. Is like he's still doing that things at that age. It's like gives me hope that I won't be as broken down as I feel.
And I'll throw into this. I think he is a first ballot Hall of Famer for the WWE. Maybe not anytime in the immediate future, but down the road. And I really would like to see, with WWE having this partnership with TNA, I think now's the time to put him in the TNA Hall of Fame as well. I'm just going to throw that out there.
Is he not already?
I don't think he is. Nick?
I don't think so off the top of my head. I don't think he is.
I saw something online that says he should be on the top of the list to go in.
I'm going to look right now.
I would assume.
I'm going to look while you guys discuss
it. Let me ask you this. So obviously, I'm sure AJ Styles is at the top of your list. Your Mount Rushmore would be all at the pinnacle of the question I'm going to ask. But is there anyone that you want to step in the ring with that you haven't had the chance to?
I mean, I've been his tag partner. I've wrestled him in tags, but a one-on-one is really the thing I'm after. Is with Mayor Fuji. I just want that one-on-one eventually down the line somewhere, or my career, I feel like it is not as cool.
Still cool, just not as cool.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, not as cool. Yeah.
You're busy with wrestling and with travel and stuff. Are you able to keep up with the current product? And if you are, what catches your eye? What do you go out of your way to watch?
Not really. I do travel just too much, and it's hard to watch full length Raws or even a quick, Raw recap. But I really just focus on what I'm doing and trying to be the best that I can be at this point. But what I usually YouTube is Stardom. Is like they're just so unique and creative, and it's refreshing to watch.
No doubt. You say you're following, you're focusing on yourself. Do you go back and watch any of your matches to kind of see, well, I could have done this better, or this went really well? Are you watching back anything that you're doing?
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, if you're not watching your stuff, like I'm not watching it to see like, oh wow, what a cool move I did, or what a great kick it was. It's to see, all right, how did the crowd react to this? Did they not care? Is this may look cool in my head, but did it look like did it look good in an actual match? Those type of things, because like you get so caught up in watching other things that you just kind of lose sight of what makes you a little different, I feel like. So I try not to, for the most part.
Right. That's understandable. Nick, what were you able to find, my friend?
AJ Styles is not in the TNA Hall of Fame.
Damn.
He is
messing up.
He's the biggest name that's not in the Hall of Fame, this article says. Kurt Angle, Sting, Gail Kim, and Team 3D have all been inducted, but he is not in the Hall of Fame. Maybe they parlay this with this partnership they have right now. Maybe he does a series of matches in TNA and then gets in the Hall of Fame. I'm all for it.
Yeah, absolutely. Me too.
Oh, for sure. The year to do it.
Totally agree. I'm all for giving people their flowers while they're still able to, pick up flowers and take them from you, instead of before it's too late type of deal. And I don't know. I'm just excited to see what the future holds for Styles, to see who he feuds with next, because I love him. I don't think he gets enough credit, and I'm every match he's in, I'm fully tuned in. I think he's that damn good.
Oh yeah, one of the best.
So let me ask you this: you've been in the business, if I'm remembering correctly, about 8 years now, so close to a decade. What do the next 2 to 5 years?
Professionally.
Yes. What does the next 2 to 5 years look like for you? Where do you hope to be? Where do you see yourself in the next few years?
Man, just busier. Hopefully on a beach at some point. Wrestling is the career. It's my main job. It's how I pay the bills. So really just keeping busy. That's all you really can do.
Oh, absolutely. I agree. I mean, you just got to keep busy and keep learning and growing, right?
For sure.
Dante, I want to ask you before we get you off the hook. A couple of things here. Where, if people want to follow you on social media, where can they find you on socials? And then where can we find you in the ring? Where are you going to be wrestling in the next few weeks?
Well, my Instagram is Endseeker, and my ex Twitter is Endseeker Leon. And this coming up weekend, I'll be at Dreamwave on Saturday. And then the week after that, August 9th, I'll be back in Texas for Riot Wrestling Federation. And then August 10th and 11th, I have some nifty little things in Arlington, Texas. And then the week after that, an SCW weekend at Wake Brewing. And then August 23rd and New Jersey for VXS is the on the docket.
All exciting, and glad to hear you'll be back in this area here real soon. That's always love seeing you in the ring. Always enjoy coming up, shaking your hand, and talking to you there. So if you guys want to follow Dante Leon, he's given you where to look out for him here. Dante, as an 8-year veteran of the business, is there any advice you want to give to any up-and-comers out there?
Keep moving, keep traveling. The farther out you go from your base of operations, probably the better. Not being stuck in one place, even though it may be comfy and you feel like you're important at some place, you really need to go everywhere. Travel is what I would really say, because you need to wrestle people that are completely different styles from you, that you need it. And so that's what I would probably tell everyone that I talk to about that.
Absolutely. Well, I want to give you a big thank you for coming on the show tonight. I'm going to toss things over to Nick and ask you, is there anything else you want to say or ask before we close out the show tonight?
Me?
Yes, you.
Me? Yes.
You're the only Nick in the room.
I'm perusing Dante's IG page, and he's got some very cool videos on here. Some very cool pictures from Japan. If you want to check that out on IG, that's where I went to was IG, not X or Twitter. But no, we've been wanting to get you on for so long, Dante. We're so glad to have you on here. Wanted to pick your brain about Japan and your wrestling experience, and we're just happier than hell that we were able to sit down and able to do it.
Yes.
Oh, I appreciate you guys. Thank y'all for having me. Sorry about the technical difficulties on my part. Maybe next time it'll be a little smoother.
It happens.
Nobody got hurt. Nobody got hurt.
Exactly.
Yeah, this time.
All workers were safe in this ring.
Love it.
Well, Dante, thank you again for coming on here and making our second birthday episode just amazing. We appreciate having you on here. Be sure to tune into Card Subject to Change on Sunday. We're going to do something a little different. We are reviewing SummerSlam or giving our reactions, but we've got JT Energy and Jared Thumb. And if you guys don't remember the episode with Jared Thumb, go back in the archives, because JT Energy was all over the comments and it was just a riot. So I expect nothing less this Sunday. But that's where you'll find us next. For my partner, Never Wrong Nick Bull, I am the Wizard CZ. We are the Card Subject to Change podcast, the podcast by the fan for the fan, powered by Lopez Pizza, built by Durham Remodeling, colored by Ryan Allison Tattoo, and protected by Jared Zook of Country Financial. We'll see you right here on Sunday on Cards Subject to Change.